Okay, so
Awesome.
hello, beautiful people, and we are here on the YouTube channel. And today I have a very special guest. Her name is Jamie. She is a mom of two, and she's going to tell us her story about why she became a bookkeeper and working from home. And I know a lot of you are going to have a lot of connection on what she suffered and why she's doing this. So without any delay, Jamie, take it from here.
Thanks for having me. So yeah, I am a bookkeeper, a mom of two, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I kind of fell into accounting back over 10 years ago when I was in college. I took a position doing 2 days of accounting work a week, and from there I worked my way up to operations accountant within the next 10 years. And then by the time I had my second daughter, I decided to stay home. We were moving, and I said, okay, I'm just going to be a stay at home mom. This will be fun. It was post pandemic, and it was just made the most sense. And then all of a sudden, we were living in the city and we needed extra income to help pay for the rent control that was going up and,
Mhm.
everything. And so that's kind of when my bookkeeping business was born. I got on Upwork, found a great company to work with. As a contractor. And I was like, after a few weeks, I was like, you know what, I could do this for other bookkeeper or for other entrepreneurs who are like me just need a little bit of help trying to do their own financing for their business because they just don't have the time to do it themselves. And so from there, that was back in January of last year when I decided to take off with it. And from there, I'm here. I'm doing everything. It feels like as a mom. I feel like that's all we do is everything. Um, but yeah, so it was kind of born from that. And as a bookkeeper, I'm able to help other entrepreneurs. Actually, I focus on female entrepreneurs and woman-owned businesses because I think it's important that we support each other through whatever we can. Because I know a lot of the women I meet that are entrepreneurs or that own small businesses, they feel the same way I do. They don't mind working with men or working with other people. But it feels like moms relate to us better. They understand that, hey, I've got to cancel this call last minute because my kids started throwing up yesterday. Or hey, my kid's throwing up right now. I've got to cut this meeting short. Or I've had meetings where my 2-year-old comes running in and bounces in my lap and is waving at the camera as I'm trying to talk. And it's just stuff like that that a lot of people who aren't moms or who don't understand the flexibility that we need in this job. And that's one of the reasons why I became a bookkeeper, so I can help those people that need the help, that I can be more relatable to.
Well, it is something that you just mentioned that
Hmm.
has been one, two, three, four moms that have been a guest in the show. They have said exactly the same thing. One of
Yeah.
the things we decided to cater to not only moms but to the female
Hmm.
entrepreneurs is that they get us. They understand that if the
Yeah.
child is just jumping on top of us, or if I have to cut the meeting short, or something, I spend the entire night trying to deal with a fever. Just
Hmm.
what you called you half an hour later because I haven't slept at all. They
Yeah.
understand, and it's something like that empathy of
Hmm.
I understand you're a mom, you're doing everything, and still I know that you're doing your work, and
Hmm.
I'm going to respect what you're doing. So I'll give you those 5, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, or an hour, so you can go
Yeah.
back, put yourself together, and then come back to do the job. It is very interesting that all of is the fifth mom that is telling me exactly
Yeah.
the same concept. That's very interesting. And you mentioned that you moved from Alabama. Well, you told me
Yes.
that you moved from
Oh yeah,
Alabama
I told
to
you
New Orleans. You
that.
told me. Okay, you
Yeah.
moved. And that obviously put a strain in your finances. And childcare is something that I remember when I tried to go back to work was one of those things that either you work for personal reasons, like I want to feel good and I
Hmm.
don't care, I'm going to pay the childcare, and then some moment like it's so ridiculous expensive. Why am I
Yep.
working for? Right?
Yep. Yeah, I growing up, it was my mom was the breadwinner and my dad stayed home with us. And my entire life, I have a 1920s mindset. I think the woman should be in the house and the husband should be out. And and because of the way my mom raised us, she was never around for anything. You'd have to beg her to go to any outside of the school activities. And I want to be there for my kids.
Okay.
And so when my daughter, my oldest, was born, I was working. My husband was going to school, and it was okay. She goes straight into daycare. That's just how it is. My second one was born, same thing. Okay, 2 months old, you're in daycare. That's just how it is. I'm going to be a working mom. And when my husband got the call, like, hey, you're moving to DC, you got this position, your dream job, I was like, okay, it's my opportunity now to be a stay at home mom. And I even looked at jobs. And like you said, it's so expensive. It's expensive when you already have one in school, but when you have two, oh my gosh, it's unbearable. Like Alabama, it was like, I think 650 for a month,
Oh,
which is
wow.
very, very low compared to other places where that was for one person for my youngest or my oldest. And then in DC it was 1,500 for her when we were moving.
For
And I was like,
one.
for one. Yeah,
Oh,
it was gonna be 3,300 a month for both of them because the other one was an infant. And I was like,
you
yeah,
had
there's no way.
you will literally have to find a management position to be able to pay for that.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. And I was in a management position, but even so, I wasn't in my management position long enough to qualify for that type of pay. For that plus some, because I would need to bring home 4 grand a month just to make that work, and that would mean making like 60 or 70,000 before taxes to bring that much home. And so it wasn't what I needed. So I was like, you know what, I'll just stay home. I'll do the stay at home mom thing. And then it's like, okay, I only talk to my kids and my
Mm-hmm.
husband. So I was like, what can I do to talk to more people and actually feel like I'm making a change and helping people, which I help my kids and make an impact on their life. But
Yeah.
with kids, you don't see that impact right away. You see it, 10, 15 years down the road when they're an adult and you're like, okay, what type of person did you become? Whereas with bookkeeping and with what I'm able to do, I'm able to see the impact that I make for my clients on a month to month basis and
Yes.
how the finances are rolling. And so being able to do that, that was another big confidence booster. I was able to help my family with income, but also be impactful and help these women who are in the same position I am in.
Yeah. Okay, I want to go back a little bit on the
Mhm.
part that you were a working mom and you
Yeah.
were okay because I know that it is hard as a career professional, as a career woman, to
Mhm.
go and get a position and then I made it. I'm all the way in management. I'm heading there to leadership, and suddenly, well, it is what it is. The kid goes to the childcare, and it's that's what it is. There's no other way. And
Yeah.
then suddenly you say, well, you know something? I just missed the first steps. I just missed the first
Yeah.
talk. I just started realizing that you missed certain topics, certain moments.
Mhm.
Did that happen to you during your working mom moment, or you realized that when you said you were moving and said this is an opportunity for me to catch up or for me to embrace this transition?
Because of how I was raised, I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I
Okay.
never expected to be that. For
Okay.
me, so I know a lot of like my friends, their mission in life or at the time in work was to get to my goal is to become a manager, or my goal is to do this within work. And for me it was I was going to do that, like no doubt about it. I was going to be a manager by the time I was in my 30s. It was more or less my goal was to eventually be able to balance the two, to find
Okay.
the company that would allow me the flexibility to balance the two and be there for my kids. But and so it never crossed my mind that I missed her first steps, or
Okay.
I didn't get to be there when she talked for the first time or something like that. None of that ever crossed my mind,
Okay.
just because I had already come up with this. I'll miss it anyway. So what's the point of wallowing in it?
Okay, so
But
you
then with my
knew that there was going to be a
exactly,
balance, like because I'm doing this work, I'm not going
yeah.
to be able to get that first word, but I'm going to be able to get the second, the third, and the fourth. So in your mind, you balanced
Mhm.
it. Is
It
it,
yeah,
isn't it
yeah, it
right?
kind of balanced it out. Yeah, and
Okay.
that was my mindset with my kids, especially with my first one. It was we're gonna have more than one kid, so I'm not trying to harp on making sure I do X, Y, and Z. So like we didn't do a big birthday blowout for her first birthday. We didn't do newborn pictures because in my mind it's, well, if I did this for her, I have to do it for my second. And I'm not going to want to do it for my second just because me being the person I am. So, and so a lot of that stuff that a lot of my friends go and spend a lot of money on, I didn't do because
Okay.
it wasn't that important to me. For me, it was, let me just have family come over, do something small. And so like my youngest, we didn't have family in town for her birthday and because we had moved. And so we celebrated her birthday with 4 cupcakes from Cold Stone Creamery. And that was her little birthday celebration. And for me, that's a little bit more memorable than having
Okay.
a big thing. But
Okay.
when it comes to, when it comes to that stuff, I had my mindset in, I'm not ever going to be able to experience those moments. But then I was able to with my youngest, and it was more special that way because I never thought I would be able to have that with my kids.
Okay. That's fantastic that how you balance in your own way to waive all that part.
Yeah.
Now that you're going into this full-time entrepreneur
Mhm.
working from home mode,
Yeah.
um, how do you manage your time with your family? Because you have
So
very young ones.
yes. So when I started my company, it was very hard. I'll be honest, I've been in business about a year and a half, and I just now got to the point where I'm managing my time a lot better. I always say when I started my company, I was working in the bubbles. I had both my kids at home. For the first year of my company, it was just both my kids at home, and I worked in between nap times. My youngest had 2 nap times, so I'd make both the girls lay down or watch TV or something, and I would do my work. And then in the evenings, I would do my work, and I would set aside 1 night a week or 2 nights a week, depending on the workload,
Mhm.
for family night. But then once my kids are on a strict schedule, and so as soon as they go to bed at 7, it's work mode for me. And so it's just one of those things where recently I got my oldest went to pre-K in January, and my youngest got put into a program, a 5-day a week program. She was only going a few hours a day, so I still didn't get a
Uh-huh.
lot of work in, but it was easier for me to start, okay, let me start focusing on growing past the small window that I have. And so now, like the summer, I'm focusing on my kids more. And so I've flipped it, and I now
Okay.
have 2 days out of the week that I actually work, and I
Okay.
have most of my nights free. My days are free with my kids, and then in August, they're both going back to school full time, and I'll be able to have a full work week again. And so it's
That
just
is
roller
impressive.
coaster.
You are, well, of course, you're not a bookkeeper, but more than that,
Mhm.
you're like time management goddess. Because believe me, it's the first time I heard that. Okay, this is a strict schedule. I work from this to this in blocks moment, like Pomodoro style, and I get my 5 minutes between one block and then one
Yeah.
block, and that's it. So, and is that something that's part of your personality, or is something that you learn because of your bookkeeping business?
So I am a planner.
Mhm.
My a lot of who I am and the reason I operate comes from the way I was raised, and it's because of how I was raised. I do the opposite. So my mom is a wonderful, wonderful woman, but she is very workaholic and she is on the fly person. And so she does everything at the last minute. We're Catholic and we go to church every Sunday. I will not go to church if I'm going to be 20 minutes late because my entire life we were 20 minutes late to mass every single Sunday because that's just how she was. She was like, "Oh, we'll make it to church. We'll just get there at some point during mass." And I'm like, "No, it starts at this time. We have to
Okay.
be there when it starts." So, and because of that, I try to plan out as much as I can. And so that's why I have such a strict schedule because I've realized that in life and with kids especially, and even my dogs are on a schedule too. It's one of those things where if you're on a schedule, that's your expectation and you need to stick to it as much as you can. And that's where that kind of came from. And it's played out really well with my business and with my family because it gives me that work-life balance that I really was needing in life.
Okay. And and that is impressive, believe me. I haven't mastered that at all. I do to-do list, I do checklist, but
Mhm.
still there's something in between that always happens. So how do
Yeah,
you do that?
always.
Always. Uh, did you automate, like, did you go online groceries or you go and do the groceries? Because that's something that I'm trying to prove a theory about successful women, mom in businesses,
Mm-hmm.
that they are so far the three that have told me, all of them either they outsource, they
Mm-hmm.
do their groceries online, they ask the food to be delivered because they
Mm-hmm.
said I don't have time to go and spend 3 hours on the groceries because I
Yep.
procrastinate. Like, okay, I love going into the supermarket just to literally relax
Yes.
and mode. So I know it's procrastination moment, but still.
So when we lived in Arlington, we bought out all the time. We did DoorDash, we did Grubhub. And that's when the girls were really little. I had an infant and I had a 3-year-old. And so that's why we did that, because it was up to me to go out and do all that stuff. And I would do it sometimes because I love walking around. I would take my girls' wagon into Costco, and they
Uh-huh.
would just sit in the wagon. We'd just walk around, get
Okay.
samples. I mean, hang out for hours. I loved it.
Yes.
But I try to do our grocery shopping just because I enjoy getting out of the house. And so if my husband's not working or if he gets off work, I'll probably tag team it and leave the kids with him and go get it myself. But for the most part, I do like getting out. And the area I live in now, it's a little bit more expensive to do DoorDash and Grubhub because
Mhm.
it's more out into it's more of a town instead of it's more of an urban area instead of a
Yes.
suburban. And
Mhm.
not urban, I'm sorry, that's completely rural. It's more of a rural area, not suburban, not city anymore.
So
So it's a little bit
it's
more
longer the
expensive.
road to go and deliver things to you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was in Arlington. We literally lived in an apartment. I call it a hotel apartment. It had like 12 floors. You walk inside to go up in it.
Mhm.
And we had at our disposal Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, pizza place, hamburger
That's
place, all
amazing.
just to walk to.
That's a
We
nightmare
ate out
for
so much.
dieting, but yes. Okay. So, what have been the challenges for you when putting up your business and having those two little ones, and actually, now you told they are very strict on your planning and you're a planner and your schedules. But anyway, there must be some kind of challenges when you were trying to do all this.
Yes, absolutely. Um, so when I was doing all this, so what I found is a lot of the moms and other entrepreneurs I talk to have a designated, like a designated workspace. They're like, if
Mhm.
I'm staying at my workspace, I'm going to be doing work because that's what it's made for. We were living in a 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment
Oh
for a
my.
year. And when I started my business, that's where we were living. So my designated workspace was a desk with a laptop in our living room. So at night when I would work, I would be working and my husband would be watching TV, playing a video game, or in the very early stages, my daughter's crib was out in the dining room. So I'd have to work quietly or I'd have to go to a mobile work area to actually get things done. So the challenge for me when I started out was finding the space to work. And some days it was standing up in my kitchen and working in my kitchen. And that was a real challenge. And the other challenge is when unexpected things do happen. I have my strict schedules, but then there are times where the baby refuses to go to sleep, so I have to hold her while I'm trying to get on a meeting call, or kids get sick. That's something everyone experiences that we talked about
Yes.
earlier. But yeah, those would be the number two things. Is the Even though I'm a big planner, things happen. I mean, and
Yeah.
it's hard for me to roll with the punches. I'm a big time planner, so I try to do everything I can. If I have a plan A, I try to have a plan B right behind it. But and also just finding a good designated workspace. I have one now downstairs, but it's the same setup. It's a multi-purpose area. So I have
Mhm.
my workspace, but also behind it there's a TV and it's kind of the movie area. So like right now I'm doing this upstairs in our kitchen because it's the area where no one is.
Okay. Very good. I think that many of us start with the kitchen, and because
Yep.
either we're cooking, we're looking at they're doing the homework, we're doing taking care of the dogs, and you're working with everybody
Yep.
around. At least when I my kids were a little younger, we all work on the dining table. They did the
Yep.
homework, and I was doing my work at the same time, so to keep an eye on everybody. Now,
Yeah,
but now
exactly.
I have the fortune to be able to close the door and for the dogs not to get in. So that's a good thing.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
you
good. Yeah.
mentioned, yeah, like barking everywhere. One of the things that you mentioned is that you team up with your husband to do the groceries. And
Mhm,
a lot of the things I ask, I wonder sometimes is,
mhm.
and I also ask about the support network that you need to have in order to start a business. And how was it for you? What kind of support network? Because usually like you believe that your family and friends are the ones who are going to be there for you and shout and like, yay. And it's like, oh, why are you doing this? Just stay at home and that's it. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. So why do you want more, right? Just stay where you are.
Yeah.
It's fine. Take care of the kids. Once they're gone and married, you can do whatever you want. I'm like, "Mm."
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
was
So with my husband, he and I have been together very long, 10 years actually. Right around the time I started my accounting journey, we were
it?
engaged. And he's been my support system, my support rock since day one. And I've been talking about doing my own business since 2019, and I didn't get up and going until 2022. So when I finally came to him, I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this." He was like, "Okay, good. What can I do to help?" But it did start off to where the support's real. I have a really good support system, but also it's back and forth sometimes because he is supportive of me and I know he is, but he isn't. For me, I'm playing the long game right now. I'm not playing the I need money, I need money, I need money. I'm playing the let me make connections, let me network, let me make sure people understand who I am and what I represent. Because if they don't get a clear picture of me, then there's no point in me having my company. It's one of those things. And for him, he's like, he's not seeing, it's not that he's not seeing the numbers, but he's like, well, why do you have to work tonight? This is supposed to be our night together. Why are you working 24/7? Or, hey, can you put your phone down? We're on a date. And I'm like, I get it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have my phone out on dates, but I just got to lead and I need to make sure that they are taken care of. Or someone's asked me a bookkeeping question, it's a client, I need to make sure that if it's depending on what season it is. I had a CPA hit me up the night taxes were due about clients
Come
tax work,
on.
and it was like 11:30 at night, and thank the Lord I was still awake. But it's one of those situations. And so he's a great support. I mean, he's wonderful and he supports me in every way possible. But we just struggle sometimes with he doesn't understand that when you're an entrepreneur, just because your office hours stop doesn't mean you actually stop working. But outside of, or at least for me, but outside of him, I do have a good support network. His family and my family are really good. Like when I post stuff on Facebook, they'll go and share it, and they may not
Yeah.
always understand what I do, but yeah, I don't.
We're
I
not there for you.
thankfully it's great. I mean, I've never had anyone tell me, no, you need to stay home, or no, you just need to focus on the kids. If anything, I've struggled a little bit with should I homeschool my kids, should I not? And I've had more people tell me, hey, if you're going to do your business, you should not homeschool your kids because it's going to drive you
That's the best
nuts.
advice you can ever get. If you're going to have a
Yes.
business, the kids are not supposed to be inside the home.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I agree with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, it's been great. I think a lot of it's the fact that I've talked about it. I'm one of those people that I talked about it for so long. And the fact that when I did it, everyone was like, wow, you're finally doing it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So well done with your network. Now you mentioned that bookkeeping and CPA. What is the difference for the moms that
So,
they don't understand, like me?
yeah. So the CPA is a certified public accountant.
Mhm.
Basically, they are completely certified to do taxes and they know the tax laws in that respect. And then bookkeepers, there are some bookkeepers that do tax preparation. I do not. Bookkeeping, for the most part, a bookkeeper is just going to go in there and categorize your transactions that you have in your bank account using the accounting software that you're on. And then at the end of the month, they'll pull reports for you that will tell you how much money you've made or lost during that month of work, and then what they are during that month of operating. And then at the end of the year, early January, they'll pull the final like year end report, and that report they'll give you to give to your CPA to file your taxes.
Okay. So basically, it's someone's extremely organized and very good with the numbers and the
Yes.
receipts. So you actually a lifesaver to all the
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. So
Yes.
very good. Because I'm a mentor at SCORE, the SCORE,
Hmm.
the score.org. So I'm a mentor there. And one of the
Hmm.
main things
Okay.
that we asked, do you know what SCORE is?
I've heard of it before, but I haven't delved into dived into it.
Okay, a SCORE. Well, I'm not retired. But like a SCORE is for a nonprofit for they are retired executives, and what
Oh,
we do is we mentor in a small business for startup to grow,
okay.
scale, and as I say, we are the life of your business. Once you
Yes.
are with us, you'll never get rid of us. That we're there for
Gotcha.
because you can always count for it, and it's free, so we're there.
Wow.
One of
Awesome.
the main things that we ask is the famous P&L and the
Yes.
bookkeeping. How much money are you making? And you will be
Hmm.
surprised that we have a lot of people saying, "Oh, I sold a lot of things." Yeah, when things are the sales, but the
Yeah.
other thing is that are you profitable? Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. And when we ask that, that is like, oh my God, you don't even know if you're profitable. So those
Yeah.
are mainly basic questions, but a bookkeeper is for us as mentors your best ally. That's your secret
Yes.
weapon because your bookkeeper is the one that's going to tell you, hey, you're spending too much. Those
Hmm.
prices are not getting. Yeah, but if I don't sell at this X amount, I will not be selling anywhere. Then you're doing something wrong, but they don't know. So
Hmm.
the bookkeepers are the ones who are giving all the information. So you're the secret weapon of every
Yes.
small business.
Yeah, I love how you say it like that too, because I haven't heard of someone saying like that. I've heard of like you're this how about I think sidekick, and I'm like, okay, sure, sidekick, the back pocket and it's stuff like that. But it's what I have found in this space is that a lot of people are like, oh, my bookkeeping, I'll just do it at year end. And it's like you really don't know how profitable your business is, or if it is, because I'll have clients that go, well, I have all this, I have $500 at the end of every month. I'm like, that's great, but is it your money or is it revenue that you're going to be spending in a few weeks because you have so many things on auto pay and you're going to barely make it back up? And then we have people who are so go in on their business, but they're not paying themselves at all. So they're basically working for free, but in their minds, they're not because they're making money in the business, but you're not paying yourself. So you're working for free, you know?
Exactly. And when they need to hire someone, it's like, oh my God, I need to raise my prices because I
Hmm.
never consider paying me or paying somebody else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what you come in and say, hey, these
Hmm.
are the numbers that you need to run. So you're, well, as we see it at the score is that when we say it, you need a bookkeeper because that is the person who's going to tell you how much can you put into the business to hire
Yeah.
somebody else to pay you or to say stop getting money from the cash account because that's another thing with business owners
Yeah.
like oh I just needed to pay for my coffee. I didn't have my credit card, so I'm going to take it from the business and I'll put it.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah,
Yeah.
you are a secret weapon for everybody, believe me.
Yes. Yeah, I absolutely love that saying. Secret weapon. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
you're the secret
awesome.
weapon. So that's what we say.
It's awesome.
And how do you contact your clients? How do you reach them? Like,
Okay. So the first couple clients I had, I found them on a platform called Upwork.
okay.
And then another client was actually a friend that
Mhm.
I found. Actually, I just posted on Instagram. I was like, "Hey, I'm open for business." She reached out to me. Another one I found on. She was my photographer. We moved to the area we're living in now, and we were looking for a family photographer. And I found her, and I was talking to her about my business, and she became a client. And then the last few have been I'm in several different Facebook groups, and I just do the routine posting in the Facebook group about my services. And sometimes people will reach out or ask me for more information. But yeah, a lot of the clients I have, they're either from personal references, CPA references, Facebook groups, or Instagram. I'm on Instagram and I have a lot of different people on there that will refer me out too.
What is your handle on Instagram? Because everybody's going to listen to you, so they can DM you and say, "Hey, I need a secret weapon too."
Yeah, I've tried to make it really simple. It's at Jamie underscore Pridmore underscore bookkeeping.
Perfect. That's very
Yep,
simple. We're going to be in the show notes, so that's going to be good.
perfect.
So, what do you think is the most important thing the most important lesson you've learned while you're setting up your business and raising that 2 year old and a 5 year old? What will be the
Yeah.
most important lesson so far? Because you're just starting and the kids are only always start. You still have a lot of things to go through,
Yes.
believe me.
So the most important lesson would be, it goes back to my scheduling. I could not have done any of this without, if my kids were not on a strict schedule. When my husband and I got married, we waited like 5 years before we had kids. And then when we got pregnant with my daughter, we were like, look, our marriage comes first. We believe our marriage comes first, our kids come second. And because of that train of thought, we started out putting our daughter, our 2 month old at the time, in a crib in her room. She was right now, she was literally maybe 10 feet away from us in the next room. And like, you know what, we're gonna put her in a crib at 2 months old, and she's gonna sleep there. She's gonna go to bed at the same time every night, no matter how many naps she has during the day. To this day, that was my 5 year old. To this day, she goes to bed at 7 o'clock every night. She may not go to sleep, but she's in her room. And that gives me the capability and the time I need to work on my business. That gives me the date night time to watch a movie with my husband, especially since we don't live around family. We don't get to do out of the house date nights anymore. So we have to do date nights at home and do movie nights without the kids and stuff like that. And so that would be that's my number one lesson, number one thing that's worked for me so far, is
Mhm.
making sure that I have a strict schedule with the kids so they know what to expect. Because I am not, we decided a long time ago, we don't want to lie to our kids. My 2 year old's like, can Daddy come say goodnight to me? Yes, I'll bring him in here in a minute. Like, I'm not going to try to sneak out of your room. I'm going to tell you how it is, and you got to deal with it.
Mhm. Very good. Oh my gosh. And what would be a good advice for the moms who are having little ones that are working moms or they're trying to become a mompreneur or mom entrepreneur? And what would be your best advice for them?
Don't discount your phone. And what I mean by that is, you can, even if your baby is sitting in your lap, or you guys are trying to put a movie on or trying to play a game or something, if you feel like you don't have the time to do it, you can find the time to do it, and you can do it from your phone. A lot of my marketing, and a lot of the ways that I get clients is from social media in some capacity, whether it's Instagram, posting in groups on Facebook, or using a platform. 9 times out of 10, that's gonna be something you can do from your phone. And there have been many a times my kids have been napping in my arms, and I'm sitting there texting or posting on Instagram or discussing something with the lead. And that's what a lot of moms have told me is, oh, it's just so busy. I can't catch a breath. I don't have the time to sit in front of a computer. And it's like, that's okay. You really, depending on what you want to do, 9 times out of 10, you don't have to sit in front of a computer to do
Yep.
some of the work. You can do it from your phone, especially now with all the phone capabilities we have.
Mhm.
Unless you're like trying to make something by hand, you can do it from your phone. And it's definitely doable, because I think that's what holds up a lot of people, especially a lot of moms, is I just don't have the time. And it's, if you really, really take a look at what you're doing, you can find the time for it.
You can make the time to make it
Make the time.
happen.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's perfect. And did you want to share your future goals or for your online business? Well, it's not,
Yeah.
it's kind of online business, right? Because you get
It
the, yes. Okay.
Yes, yeah, it's completely virtual. I'm a virtual bookkeeper. I work with
Okay.
people all over the US. I have clients in West Virginia, Alabama, New York, North Carolina, California, just everywhere. Um, but yeah, so my goals are, I'm working to grow my network, and I'm working on some different programs to do. Right now, I only offer monthly bookkeeping and what I call a bookkeeping strategy call, where I kind of get on the phone with someone. We go deep diving into their books for 60 minutes, for
Uh-huh.
people who just really need to see if they need help. But one of my goals is to create some type of membership program for mompreneurs and female entrepreneurs who need the bookkeeping support but don't have the money to do a big retainer every month for full on bookkeeping support. So it's one of those I'm trying to create a program where they have a bookkeeper in their back pocket type of situation. They can
Okay.
text me or something like that. But that's one of my big goals by the end of the year is to set
Okay.
up this
More accessible, like they're doing it
more accessible.
80% of the work and you do the 20%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go in and kind of check behind them like a proofreader.
Okay. Oh, that's the perfect stuff. So you're
Yeah.
the book reader, proof bookkeeper, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to figure
Yeah.
out
Proofer
that
for the
word.
books.
Yeah, the proofreading the books. Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm so happy, Jamie, that you shared your story with us, that we are learning a lot, that a strict schedule gets you places. That's
Yes.
that's
Yes.
that's the lesson for me today. And second, that you can do and you have to make time for yourself. Am I reading it
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. And what is the name of your business? Oh, we never said it.
So the name of my business is Jamie Pridmore Bookkeeping,
Okay.
and the website is actually under just my name. So
Okay.
it's just jamiepridmore.co. But
Okay.
the business is Jamie Pridmore Bookkeeping.
Perfect. So I will be putting it in the show notes, and so everybody can go and contact you on Instagram and Facebook, and go
Yep.
into your website and start making a queue for that to get that secret weapon with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jamie, for being here with me and with us. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, that was it. Thank you so much for being with me today. And that was Jamie, our secret weapon, that bookkeeping. And you can find me at the Content with a Purpose on any social media or in YouTube as Gaby Rendon. And until next week, and have a good night. Well, it's still day here today. Anyway, bye.